I want to talk to you about hearing from God and my experiences, why I hear from God a lot. Um, I died when I was younger, and I went to heaven. You do lift out of your body. I went through like this real fast tunnel, and as you're going past in this tunnel, the person holding me, I know now, is Jesus. And as we're going through the tunnel, anything bad that has ever happened in your life is being erased. So as I enter heaven, I'm being picked up, and the first words out of my mouth was Father. I was so happy to see Father. And did I see him? No, but I was being picked up in the air and held by him. And then he sat me down in this field of flowers, and they were yellow daffodils, and their leaves were not like the ones here. They were wide, like tulip leaves, but they were daffodils, and I knew that to be Father's favorite flower. So, well, one of them, but I'm sitting in that flower field. So, after that, I'm picked up again, and I know now that the second person that picked me up and was observing me is Jesus. So then he sets me back down on the ground, and I'm sitting there, and you do have your white dress on. So if anyone's ever confused about a male or a female, God refers to you as a male or a female in heaven. So I'm there in my white dress, and God asked me, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to play in the trees. And he goes, trees? And he's like, where? So I pointed across heaven, and you could see like these wheat fields. Oh, it's so beautiful. And the sky, the blue and the gold. It's so beautiful. You're at such peace there. But I didn't stand up like yet. So as I stood up, God's like, your legs, you can move. So people who are saying that you're just a spirit and you're not a person, I got news for you. You're a person. You're like you were here, but more nicer looking, okay? So I grab my legs, and I'm like, oh, my legs. So I go to stand up, and as I did that, I was like placed by this tree, and around me was like this reed with this like white, I don't know what it was, with my name on it. It was a white background, and it had my name on it. And then after that, I was back in my body in the hospital. So let's fast forward to a lot of stuff. I became very sick with fibromyalgia. I had to quit my job and everything. And it was so bad, the pain, I couldn't even stand on my own feet, let alone have clothes touch my skin. The pain was that bad. So I just prayed a lot for God to help me and to please give me a divine healing, because that pain was horrifying. I went through child labor, and it was like child labor throughout my whole body, and I didn't have any medicine on me at all. When I gave birth, natural. And the pain I felt through the fibromyalgia is worse than having body labor pains throughout your whole body, head to toe. Okay? So I had this prayer to him, I need to go somewhere and get healed. And so out of nowhere, he appears on the cross. And this cross was humongous. If you guys only knew what I seen, you would never say anything negative about Jesus. And he's on the cross, and it's like I'm looking at him from his right side and looking at the back of him, and I'm looking up, and the blood was just horrifying. The crown of thorns, it was no little tiny crown of thorns. It looked like an eagle's nest that they put on his head, and it like went into his skull. His left eye was bulged because he was like turning to me, and I noticed that his feet, the nail wasn't there. The nails were not there. And I knew that once he comes off this cross and I see him again, that it would be time of his coming. So as he turns to look at me on the cross with his arms, I mean outstretched, there was no bent elbows, it was outstretched. And he turned to me. I couldn't look at him because I felt so pathetic, okay? So you got to know that that is the hardest thing for a human being to see right up close, is to see God, what he looked like on that cross. It's nothing what they portray on TV. It is a million times worse. That's all I got to say about that. So after that, fast forward, I start seeing, and he's showing me things, like I took my dog for a walk, and all of a sudden these columns appear all through the earth up into the heavens. I mean, they're huge. They're like the ones in Rome that holds those buildings up, except they don't have those grooves in it. They're smooth and they glowed. And I knew from him that these are the new foundations of the earth. And this was in 2017 with the columns. The other ones were back in 2008. So, and that's when I seen him on the cross. That was 2008, but now we're in 2017. And I was in a car accident. Bad things were happening with my heart. I needed open heart surgery. I still do need that. Cardiovascular to be done. I need a quadruple. I don't even want to talk about that. So anyways, so he showed me the foundations of the earth, and the new ones, and the angels are now going in and out of those. So then at this time in my life, I'm angry from the car accident. I'm angry about having a massive heart attack. I'm angry at people I should never be angry at. I hated a lot of people, and I was getting, I even told God I hated them because that's how unhealthy and how horrible my life was. Well, I don't know if you heard like the phenomenon in the sky and the trumpets in the sky. It's all over YouTube. Well, when people hear those trumpets in the sky, they are for individual people. If they were to speak out on it, I don't know. But I'm speaking out because one trumpet came for me. And I knew Gabriel was blowing that trumpet. And I knew that God the Father got off of his throne room chair to tell me I was going to hell because of the hate and the anger that I had in me. Did I hurt anybody? No. Did I say anything? No, it was in my head, my mind, and my heart. Once you have that still inside of you, you're not of God. You will go to hell. So I was told I was going to go to hell. Yeah, for something simple as that. For having hate and anger toward people. So I experienced that. So then, not too later of that, I started thinking to myself, I apologized to God, I repented, and I made peace, okay? I made my peace. So I had asked him, well, what does hell look like? Not expecting that he would even show me. Well, yeah, he did. This is going to be your first experience when people go to hell. I was falling. I can't tell you if it was 2,000 feet or 200 feet. It is so fast. And when you hit the ground in hell, every bone in your body breaks. So if it wasn't for the grace of God being with me in hell and these swords around me, I would have been attacked by demons instantaneously. So I fall into the ground of hell. So whatever breaks, it automatically goes back together, and you're going to feel this pain. But by the grace of God, with him being behind me in hell, I didn't feel this pain. So I'm walking through hell, and it is so black, so dark, and the only light was him behind me, and I had gold swords to the right of me and gold swords to the left of me, keeping these demons off me. So I look, and there's like this huge fire, and in this fire I see from the Nazi party, I see these demons just throwing these people into this lake of fire. And I was like, oh my God, I had to get away. They already know you're there. The only reason why they didn't come there, because Jesus was behind me with these swords, throwing them, protecting me. So then there was one part where he pulled back those swords, and I was running through hell. It is so black. I didn't smell no smells. He saved me from that. So I walk into like this cavern, and in there, this demon, it had to have been at least 60 feet tall. It was its head looked like part man. Its body was dirty, nasty, and it came in there, and it was very disturbing. It was very evil, and that thing came up to me, and it was scared because it was running from another demon, and I was like, Jesus, before I even could say Jesus's name and what my thought was coming out to it, that thing bit off this part of my hand and ate it. And I was told while I was down there, when it chews it and eats it and swallows it and digests it into your stomach, it does come out of its, yeah, and then it'll go right back on your hand. And so that's an eternity with that. But the minute I said the name Jesus, it got so scared, it took off in like a speed of light. And then I was sucked out of hell back into my body. I woke up. It took me 9 months to recover from that. And you think that that was like a short trip? It was a short trip. So after that, I'm still getting good with God and getting rid of my anger, my hate, and just starting to have joy in my heart. God gave me back my joy. And so at 2019, like, I did get dreams and visions of, before the pandemic began, I was shown a freeway that no one was going anywhere, north, south, east, or west, and everything has come to pass, even that, except the one where there's some private stuff in there that I don't want to let go of, because it has to do with my family members. And but I was shown my death, how I was going to be, well, basically Christians are going to be crucified. I was shown how I was shot in the head. I was shot in the head with, and it was weird, it was a Ruger 45 gun. I was shown that, and I knew what kind of gun it was. Anything that God shows you, you know what's going on. Then I was shot in my right arm, and then my left arm, and then my left leg, and then my right arm. Like, Christians are going to be crucified. So after that, I lifted out of my body, and I don't know if this is like the rapture part of it. Well, I'm floating around, looking around, and I'm taken to this place in the street where there's nothing but gunfights going on. I mean, it's shootout, and these bullets are going through my spirit. And yeah, in my spirit, I'm wearing my white clothing, everybody. Please put your armor on. I was shown what the armor looks like. It is armor on your body. And don't forget to put your pants on. Those pants are gold armored pants. So look that up. Paul explains what the armor looks like if you read the New Testament. Okay, I'm not getting into preaching, but so I was shot up to heaven, but then I was set on a mission from him to save a particular family member, and so we won't get into that. But since 2019, I see and hear angels marching, warring. Michael the Archangel, angels are telling the other angels, mount up, and it's just like they're all in a row. It's just, they never stop coming in, they never stop coming out. There is a spiritual warfare going on with this demonic stuff that's going on now, and it has not stopped, and it's still going on now. And everyone should thank God for sending his host and his angels to protect you, because without that, these demons would devour you. You don't even know. It's just like pull a thin curtain and you'd be able to see them, and it's disgusting. I have seen angels shred these things like through a wood chipper with their swords, and it is like, wow. And they disintegrate into pieces, and then if they're like disintegrated, they start going back. Like, nothing really can be destroyed, it goes back. That's why you have to cast them out in your mind, you in Jesus Christ's name, and then picture them in hell. What I was told to do, you cast that to Jesus. So I cast them inside of Jesus's sword, but they're everywhere now. Since 2008, when Obama got into office, the demonic realm really opened up, and they're everywhere. If you only knew. And then you look at the earth and the people, how weird they become. This is why people do get possessed, and the world is in a state of influencing from things they can't see, because they're not with God. When you're with God, you are sober in your mind. But if you're not with God every day, it's a basic prayer. If you said the Lord's Prayer 3 times a day, Jesus said that's how you pray. It's a deliverance prayer, people. It's a deliverance prayer. And bam, when you say Jesus' name, they flee, just like when I was in hell. It's strange to me that demons fear God more than human beings do. People, are you kidding me? It's shocking. And, you know, I was guilty of that too. I fear God. I don't fear anything. Nobody. No, I don't. But in the spiritual realm, these wars are going on, and also praise. If you've seen how and heard how the angels sing holy, 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 it's on a whole new level of worship. It makes what we do look like kindergarten compared to, like, wow. I mean, after hearing this and seeing all this, you actually you feel dirty. I don't care if you didn't sin at all and you didn't think you sinned, but you thought you were doing good, you still feel dirty. So you want to keep doing better and better and better. So I was told that there's some bad stuff going on in the world, and I've been ever since then in prayer and trying to do right and not hate people and do good, and basically love myself. If you're not telling yourself the truth about anything in your life, you're lying to yourself. So that makes you what? A liar. Quit lying to yourself, people. Because the truth is, it's so simple for you to just, if you have a question about the Bible, Google it. Ask Google, where does it say in the Bible about, you know, whatever your questions may be, because I'm not getting into it. That's where I had to begin. Is Jesus religious? No, you tell me anywhere in the Bible where it says that Jesus was a Baptist, a Protestant, a Catholic. No, Jesus is God. We are his children. Being children, we are part of his church, part of his body. We are his bride. He is the groom. He's our Father. And for people to say, oh, you can't see God, it says it in the Bible. Well, I differ with you. I'd like to know what everyone in the Bible, like the disciples, were seeing when they were looking at Jesus Christ. I guess they were looking at God. I mean, come on, where's your common sense, people? You need to start really looking at the Word. And if you really want to know what he looks like, he looks just like in the pattern that he told Akiana Krovovich to paint. The Prince of Peace painting. She was on Oprah. And then Is Heaven for Real with Colton in there. And he says, that's him. And that's exactly who I see. almost in every single vision that I bring to you. When he stands there, that's who it is. Especially when he walked out of heaven with me and cast the stone toward earth. And it's heading right toward us because this place is so sinful. Look what we're doing to our children. Hey, get on your cell phone and look like you're praying, because you know what? You're not doing nothing for your children. And everyone will be offended by what I just said. But you know what? You were convicted. When you start talking about Jesus and the name brings up, it manifests anger in people. Why does it manifest anger in people? Because there's demons around you and in you that are coming out, and they're scared. They're angry. They want to flee. They don't want you to know the truth. So if you're not walking your walk with Jesus, I'm just saying, we are in not good days. All the visions and dreams I've had, it's disturbing. There's some times where it takes me months to recover from it. It's just it's scary, and no one is listening. I go on the street to the stores and everything, and I have had strangers just come up and talk to me. Seems weird that a lot more people are having dreams and having experiences with Jesus, and no one's talking about it. Or is it being held back from better words to say from our public platforms? Because in the end it says that everyone will prophesy, children, men, women, old, young. And for any prophet to say that, oh, you got to go through discernment school and all this, no, you don't. If God's going to give you a vision, he's going to give it to you, regardless what anyone is or what their little documents say. I'm just saying, don't listen to some of these weirdos out there saying that you cannot have these. You can hear from God in a month. All you have to do is open up and have a relationship and talk with him. And about God being religion, he said to the Pharisees, they are religious. They will have their part in the lake of fire. God is not part of a religion. So anyone that wants to say that Jesus is religious, you are sadly mistaken, and quit showing misinformation about him, because he's not religious. If you knew Jesus, you would know a little bit more freedom, because religion is man-made, not by God. And he spoke about that adamantly. So I just thought I would bring some of this stuff up to you. And if you want to hear from God, just, when you wake up in the morning, invite him into your house. Have the whole part of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. When I wake up, say, God, you're welcome into my house. You're welcome into my house. Put the armor of God on you every day, because I have seen it in the physical. I was shown it. But don't forget to put your pants on, because that stops you from doing lustful stuff, nasty stuff. And if you don't think that God doesn't look at that stuff, he does. And I'm going to tell you what, for me to be angry and dislike people to the point of hate, and I was going to hell, for God to come off his throne room and to have Gabriel the archangel blow that trumpet that you hear on YouTube and on the news. It was on the news too. Those are for individual people, warnings to them. You will go to hell. And I was one of those warned, and now I'm speaking out about it because he wanted me to, because we're in the end of days. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't apologize for that. Jesus warned us. I'm sorry that the church that you go to isn't warning you, or your family members aren't warning you. So I am doing what he asked me to do, and that is to warn people. So God bless you. And remember this one thing. Jesus says, how do you pray? Peter asked Jesus, how do you pray? And Jesus told him the Lord's Prayer. That is a prayer. Basically, it sums everything up, and it's done like that. Demons go away. And yeah, you can cast out demons in Jesus Christ's name. And you know what? If you read your Bible, it's simple, it's basic. If you have a question, ask Google. Quit asking man questions, because they always throw in their opinion. Ask God. Ask God his opinion. So that's what I have to say. Everyone can go to heaven. But if you have anger, hate, animosity toward God or anyone, basically, you will go to hell. I was shown that, and I was one of them. So I am just sharing the truth. All right, God bless you.